Run, river, run. Run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me. Run through the land you...
This is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. Today we have an encore visit by a very extraordinary author, and I love her very much, Susan Kapatoes, and she is from Sharon. And she wrote the book, which you may remember us talking about before, A Spiritual Journey. She's going to tell you all about it if you haven't learned about it before. This was based on your own journey. And Sue, can you tell us more about it?
Yes, I can. I want to first thank you very much for having me on a second visit.
Yep.
I appreciate this very much. So, A Spiritual Journey is a self-help inspirational memoir. It has a strong focus on personal development and the power of positive thinking. And it also has a spiritual aspect to it based on some personal experiences in my life. And those spiritual themed experiences showed me that there's more to life than what we see right here before our physical eyes. So they were a blessing in many ways, opened my mind, expanded my consciousness exponentially, and so I wanted to convey that to readers too, to inspire hope. Yeah, maybe in those people who are searching for a deeper meaning in life, like I was when I was a teenager. My search started in my teenage years. I was constantly questioning, the reality I saw before me. Why was I here? There has to be something more than what I see before my eyes.
Did your parents know you were that interested in questioning? What did they think, or didn't they know?
I don't think they knew the full extent.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You were very into that, very into finding out. What do you think triggered that? Just your natural curiosity?
I think just my natural curiosity.
Yeah, it's already there.
Yeah. It started off in high school. I was interested in astronomy, and I used to go outside, the nice summer nights, and I had a flashlight in hand with an atlas in my hand, and I would, have the flashlight looking at the constellations, and I would look up into the stars, and I would try to, see if I can pick and choose which constellations were there. So I've always had an interest in the beyond, so to speak.
Tell us about some of the experiences that really kept you, got you to the point where you wanted to rewrite this book. Tell your own personal, what you went through.
Why I wanted to
your
write.
Your enlightenment, the ones along the way.
Well, that first experience in college. Do you want me to explain that?
Yeah,
sure, okay, because I had talked about it.
I want to hear it again.
Yeah. So actually, I am going to start in the beginning back.
Sure.
So growing up, like I said, I was always searching, seeking answers. But one of the big questions for me was, is there a God? Right. So because I couldn't feel this being, was it a he, was it a she, was it in it, so many questions, and because I also have an analytical mind, I wanted proof, basically, and I wasn't getting that. So I always felt a big void inside. I was never drawn to any particular religion per se, even though I do believe they all have a common thread of truth. So based on that premise, as I was leaving for my freshman year in college, one of my mom's friends gave me, because she wanted to, she gave me a Bible as a going away gift, because she actually had been a nun for 8 years in, I don't want to call it a previous life, but in her younger years. Yeah. So she had a strong connection to the Catholic faith.
Was that a surprise when you got that?
I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked, because I thought that, maybe she did know, and she was trying to maybe help me out. Sure. So I said I graciously accepted it, but yes, my heart kind of dropped, and I'm thinking, well, I can't believe she gave me this gift, I'm like, okay. Being courteous, I accepted it, and I said to myself at that moment, I said, there's no way I'm ever going to read this, I'm never even going to open this, But something happened. I remember I was standing in my parents' driveway, and when I looked down at the Bible, something told me to keep it with me. And so that's exactly what I did.
You took it to college with you?
I took it to college. I packed it. I repacked it, but I never opened it at all.
You just had it with you?
I just had it with me because something inside my intuition was telling me to keep it. So senior year in college, we'll jump to senior year.
Where did you go?
University of Massachusetts at Amherst.
Yeah.
Yep, I studied nutrition, actually. And so I was home at the condo. I had 3 roommates at the time. And
that's a lot of roommates. When I was in college, I had one at a time. That was enough.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
No, I was practically an only child, so I had my own bedroom. Sharing it with someone was really tough.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Especially when they snore.
Yeah. That's a whole other journey.
Oh, yeah.
That's
when they talk in their sleep, right?
We actually had an off-campus apartment. And I had 3 roommates because finances are tight in college, to split all the expenses. So there was usually always someone around. It was very rare to find myself alone, but I did on this particular night. They were all out doing whatever they were doing, and I was trying to get some homework done. I was upstairs in the bedroom, but I couldn't concentrate because I was having an issue at the time with my current boyfriend.
Yeah,
and it was kind of gnawing at me. So I was contemplating it, trying to figure out what to do, and all of a sudden, as I was contemplating the problem, the image of the Bible suddenly appeared in my mind.
Yeah.
And I tried to brush it away. I didn't really understand what was going on, but it wouldn't go. It just kept being there. So I said, okay, this must, be a sign. Yeah. So I always kept the Bible in a drawer next to me in my dresser
drawer.
Sort
of like in the motel.
Yeah.
Gideon's Bible, here it is. So now you took it out.
I know, exactly.
Now you took it out.
That's exactly what I thought of when I just said it to you, in a hotel. So I took it out and I held it, and then all of a sudden I had the intuitive insight to just go ahead and open to a random page and to see if the answer to my problem was there. But I wanted to do it in a more sacred way. So we had a wooden crate in the room, like a regular sized wooden crate. So I took the wooden crate and I propped it up against the wall, and I kneeled down in front of the crate, and I took the Bible and I put it on top of the crate, and then I just opened it up. Yeah. And my eyes fell, directly to words that indeed did help me at the time. And I thought, wow, this is great. It provided some comfort, some insight, and a direction of how to handle the problem. And I was very grateful. I just was like, oh, this is wonderful. I thought that was a miracle in and of itself. And just as I was thinking that, there was a flash of light that illuminated the entire room. It was just like boom, it was just there. And it felt like it came from the upper left-hand corner of the room. Yeah. So I looked back, and then I looked to the upper hand corner, did not see anything. Then I looked back to the Bible, and it was then that I was just inundated with waves upon waves of unconditional love.
Was it the Old Testament or the New that you had just accidentally opened up to? Which was it?
I believe it was the New.
Okay.
I've had other people ask me, well, what was the verse you opened up to? And you know what? I don't remember.
It'd be tough to remember that long, yeah.
Yeah, well, because of what happened, too. Maybe if nothing happened, I'll explain more. But anyway, so all of a sudden I was inundated with just these intense feelings of love, and joy, and bliss that is really beyond words. I try hard to describe it, but it was just magnificent. It was really beautiful. I didn't really know what was happening to me. I was having all these emotions, at the same time I'm thinking, wow, this is great, and then a little nervous, what's going on with me? And I tried to open up my mouth to even, because I was really happy and joyful. I just wanted to laugh too, because some kind of an expression, and I found that I couldn't. And I found that odd too. Yeah. So right when I had that realization that I couldn't speak, it was then that I felt there was almost like a tug that I was being pulled up and out of my body. And I know that sounds sensational, but that's how it felt. It was a slight sensation, but it was still something that I felt. And then all of a sudden I also felt another part of my consciousness suddenly in the middle of deep space. And I believe it was my spirit or soul up there in that other realm, so to speak. But that was another unbelievable experience because I was allowed to feel the oneness of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone, there's a lot of talk in the spiritual space about we're all one.
Yeah.
And
Did you tell anybody, any of your friends, or just keep it to yourself? What did you do?
You know what? I never told anybody
Yeah.
until I wrote this book.
How long after that happened did you write your book? How long? How many years later?
Oh, that I wrote my book?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, a long time ago, because that happened in 1991.
Yeah.
That week, and this book was only released not too long ago.
Yeah,
A year and a half.
Yeah.
So a long time. Yeah. Well, because I was just a little nervous to express that and what I felt.
Well, yeah, and
because
you weren't going to get the reaction. You're not too sure. What do they
Exactly.
really think here? And it's
Right.
very real to you. I know that when I was in college, I went to Plymouth State, and my parents were very open about religion. I mean, they wouldn't have cared who I was rooming with. And I noticed that my roommate, I was so sick from homesickness, physically ill and emotionally, really a mess. And she seemed so together, and I always caught her reading a particular book. I thought, what is she reading? And she finally told me Science and Health, The Key to the Scriptures by Mary Baker Eddy, Christian Science,
Okay.
that also follows the Bible. And I thought, well, that's interesting. The next thing I know, God bless my mother, she clued into this and sent me a copy that, I love all different religions, take what you like, leave the rest.
Yeah.
That helped me so much. I know it. It's just like, and I hung out with my new friend. And I think just by being with her too and watching how upbeat she was in life, this type of thing, I'm like, wow, this is good, and I need it, and that's why she's there. And I just kind of followed along, but it's amazing what comes into our life. I didn't ask my mother to send that to me.
Right. All the synchronicities that
I know.
that
And
happen.
I said to my roommate, I said, my mother just sent me this book. She said, oh, I knew she was going to do that. I'm like, I didn't question her. I mean, how did you know? She must have figured that because I'd mentioned it. I don't know. It was amazing.
Right. Yeah, so that's what I hope to inspire or help people, to let them know that, this really is out there, and I know we only know what we experience.
Yeah.
So I shared that experience, and there's been a few other things that have happened to me to hopefully inspire hope in other people.
The cover. Did you say somebody picked this, or you picked that beautiful cover?
The publishing
The
company
publisher did.
picked it up, but I loved it.
I don't know, Paul, if you can zero in on it, but it's a hand touching the water, the finger just gracefully, and it's like a water bubble light type of thing.
Yeah.
The colors themselves, blue is always, I think, very relaxing. And there's a copy downstairs, right? In the library.
Right.
So you get a spiritual journey by Susan Kapatoes. What does MHA stand for?
MHA stands for Masters in Healthcare Administration. So I went back to school and got my master's in healthcare administration because I wanted to further my growth and other professional skills.
Yeah.
So I decided to go back, and I just finished that degree in 2015.
Wow.
So I've always been in the healthcare field. So
do you do anything now? This is writing these reviews. That's a lot. But do you do anything else during the day for a job? In that field?
Actually, not right at the moment. I did. I left the corporate environment a couple of months ago now, and to dedicate myself fully to book writing, I'm going to write another book, and in speaking engagements such as we're doing now, I want to talk about my experiences more.
What book is coming up? Did we talk about this before?
The second book that's coming up.
Yeah.
We haven't. Well, I might have mentioned it in the first one.
I think you mentioned it, but you didn't say.
I'm not
you
sure.
Didn't tell us what the title is.
Well, I think I've changed my mind of what the theme. So originally I was thinking of. So on my website I have pictures that I've made, like with positive quotes and positive sayings next to them, and I was thinking of just gathering them all together, basically, and making a book. And that still might happen, but I'm reconsidering now, and perhaps I think expanding on some of those stories, because I do have more stories to tell, other things that I've learned from. So I think I might.
Do you learn every day? Like, what's a recent thing did anything recently happen to you that really you want to add to your next book too? More like recently, in the last couple of years, maybe something you're like, boy, I'm going to get that into the next book. Because you have such an ability to pick up on things.
Yeah, that's well. Yeah, I mean, other things have happened to me. Yeah, not like something like big. What right now is coming to mind, but
It's there.
It's there. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything.
No. Do you think it might be within a year that we might see the new one?
Within a year? Yes, that would be a good goal. Yeah.
Will it be a paperback?
It will be a paperback.
Aha.
It will be a paperback.
Now, Sue, how can people get a hold of your book besides going downstairs to the library?
So people can get a hold of my book on Amazon, Apple, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. I also have a website. It's in inspireyourjourney.com, and the links are there as well on the website.
So what would you say to somebody who, that experience you had in college, it was so intense for you, and it inspired you so much. What if, there's somebody else out there, and maybe they're not in college or whatever, and they've just had something that really overwhelmed them. How would you encourage them to consider writing a book or their story or whatever?
Okay, that's a good question. So there's a lot of healing in writing a book. So even for me, after I have worked on myself a lot. I've utilized some of the personal, or I still always utilize the personal development skills that I mention in my book. But I would encourage someone who is looking to express themselves more to just start jotting down
keep
your
a
thoughts.
jog, right, along.
Yeah. That's what I used to do. If something used to come to me, especially when I was writing the book,
Yeah.
I used to just jot the notes down. And it is really, really healing. And there's something magical about physically writing too.
Yes.
I find.
Yeah.
Versus
Keeping
typing.
a journal. Yeah.
But I can't explain what it is, but there's
Do you have good printing?
more of a connection.
You do. I think you sent me a note.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, though, I've seen some printing that is so minuscule. We had a doctor one time. I honest to God, his printing was no more than like a 1/15 of an inch high. So precise and little. But other people have a nice, like, good size, medium size. I do have the same as you, and it's like, I don't know, it's easier to read to me. I don't have to go.
Yeah, the print. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do print, like if I'm jotting. Yeah, if I'm jotting.
Do you keep
stuff down.
when you're driving along, like a pad? Like a lot of authors, they'll keep something beside the bed if they wake up at night.
Mm-hmm.
I would think
A notebook. A notebook.
With your ability to clue right in, it's like I got to put that down right now.
Yes. Yeah, and that is also key, because sometimes words will come to me, and they're almost like a little intuitive insights as to how to word something, and I have found if I don't write that down right away, or you don't have to physically write it down. Sometimes if I have my iPhone, I'll just jot it down on the little notepad.
Yeah.
I recommend to do that, because sometimes you'll never get that back.
Exactly. Or you'll be trying to remember it.
Right. Or you're feeling something in the moment. Maybe a certain moment I'm feeling very peaceful, or okay, I take yoga, right?
Yeah.
So this happens to me a lot in yoga class, because yoga is great physical exercise.
Yeah.
But it also helps you clear your mind, right? Stay centered, all that. It's both. It's like a moving meditation.
I have had a physical therapist recommend I do it.
Oh, it's great. It's great. So I get these little, like,
You get those
intuitive insights.
And you write them down.
Right after I get out of class. I can't do it.
Now you're in class now?
No, right after I get out of yoga class, I do.
So do you, how long have you been doing yoga?
Oh, wow. So I've been doing yoga on and off since college. As well. Yes.
So you really like it.
I really like it even more recently.
They say it's good for the back. Like I have a bad back. They say it's good for that.
So great. Yeah.
It really is?
It really, really is.
Now I was kidding with Suzanne and then our former guest. We're going to have, I read about this, and so did they in the newspaper, over at a heifer farm in Rutland. If they can come on, we're going to do yoga with goats. Now I'm not kidding. Yoga with goats, and we're gonna get a little goat up here, and I guess they can get on your back while you're doing your in positions, or they'll just lay there with you. Paul, my camera tech, said to me, well, goats, in other words, they go to the bathroom. So that hadn't dawned on me. So what are we gonna do? I put a diaper on the goat. I don't know, but hopefully they'll be on, and this I gotta see, and I know you want to see
I'm
too.
interested too. I'm definitely interested.
I could just see
in that.
doing yoga with a goat.
Yeah.
I could do it with a basset hound, but a goat. Who ever thought of that?
Maybe it's good for the goats too. I don't know. Maybe they like it.
Yeah. I don't really know. I mean, horse therapy, I've heard of horses being good therapy, but a goat.
Yeah.
She's like, this is very
I don't know. I can't answer that. That's not my
No.
expertise.
Now, you like to have your book reach young adults as well as adults.
Both.
So I know that, fairs and libraries, if somebody would love to have you, if they're watching, would love to have you come on and do a presentation, how do they reach you?
Okay, that's a great question. So I can be reached on my website at inspireyourjourney.com. There's a get in touch link, and you can enter your email, any type of message or comment, and I will get that. And I'm also going to start a newsletter as well, so that's in the works on the website, and because I want to build a following, an email list, and so I can keep in touch with
Yeah, and the whole idea that at first I thought maybe it was for just adult, but no, this book is for, I would say, what, about 16, 17, 18 and above? What would you think?
Yes, I would say that maybe even a little bit, maybe a little bit younger. Yeah, 14 in high school.
Yeah.
I would say in high school, because that's really when that's when my search began, and I was looking for books exactly like this, because these are stories, these are personal, real life stories, and that's exactly what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for the traditional self-help book, so to speak, where it was just telling you what to do.
Right.
And I think people remember by stories.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm trying to convey, the lessons. There are definitely lessons in this book, but they're relayed through stories.
I'm thinking about having you speak at high schools. Gosh, they have people speaking at high schools now who have gone into recovery from addiction. You'd think that, I would think this type of thing would be wonderful. So that's in my head too.
I'm definitely open to giving talks and presentations. So absolutely. I'm open
Now,
to that.
Suzanne, with my encouragement, went to the expo in Danversport. We didn't make it this year, but opened Danversport, and it was quite the experience. It's a humongous. It's a Princess Hall.
It is. It's a beautiful venue.
Did you go out
It's
the
a
balcony and look at the
venue.
yachts?
Yes. Yes. Beautiful area.
Did they serve wine there? I know a friend of mine who was in it one time. Or did she bring her own bottle? I don't know, but she was. Did they have a bar?
I think they had like a built-in bar in the big ballroom area.
Yeah.
And I think they opened it up at 5. Yeah, because they were letting people in at 4, I believe. So
You got there at what, noon?
Yeah.
What time did you
I got there about noon. Yeah.
And the first
12:30, something like that.
lecture started at 1, was it 1? And then, did they
Yes.
open the doors early this year to the people coming in? Last year they did.
4 o'clock. They had the doors open at 4, so not.
They squished, they let everybody start coming in about 3:45 last year.
Okay.
It was like a herd.
Yeah.
Did you notice when the doors opened that there were a lot of people all at once?
There was a good amount of people. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how many, but.
Where were you
yeah.
in the hall? I mean, I know that hall, left side, down side, round side. Where were you? Coming in, were you on the right, left?
So when you came in to the door, I was right on the left.
You were on the left.
I was
okay.
on the left.
First row?
First row against the wall.
Is
So
it-
if you walk in like really to the
Right
left,
there.
right there to the left.
Okay, because I know
Right.
when I went there last year, there was a young guy, I think maybe in his 20s, who was writing sci-fi fantasy, something like that. Everybody has been there. Did you see the young authors as well as the older people too?
Yes, there was authors of all ages there, so
And
so
there
it
is
was
a
a
lot
great
of
experience.
fantasy
It's a
too.
great-
The
yes.
fantasy thing.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, and then you met David. Did I say his right? Shire was his last name?
David Shiang.
Shane. Excuse me, David.
Shiang, I believe that's how you pronounce his
Yeah,
last
yeah,
name.
he was on here. Very smart,
Yes.
business. Knows the
Yes.
techie part, that
Yes.
type of thing in the business. And did he tell you about his book? Did you see his book?
I think he has a few books out,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, he was
yes,
very, very
so, yes, he
Definitely.
has a few
Sue,
books.
one more time, how can people get a hold of you and your book?
Okay. So you can purchase my book on Amazon, Apple, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. I also have a website, inspireyourjourney.com. So you can, all the information is on the website about where to purchase the book, and you can also connect with me through the website too.
Yeah, and you can also go downstairs at the Upper Town Library, even if you're out of town, out of state. Come over here. We have a dedicated author's wall. And I tell you, I had no idea that was coming. That surprised me a lot. When I saw that, I'm like, oh.
Oh, the author's
The
wall,
author's
you didn't
wall?
know? Oh, nice.
See, I didn't know. They
you didn't
surprised me with that
know.
one.
Oh,
no,
that's great.
I didn't see it coming at all.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they can just come from
Great.
up here, the studio, and then go right downstairs and put a copy of their
Yeah.
book.
It's great.
Now, craft fairs, that's another place, too, that I love to recommend because
Yes.
very often at a craft fair, there aren't any authors. So it's a nice place to
Mm-hmm.
stand out. They say, oh, no, I can't go to a craft fair. You know, they're not going to want me. I'm going to, like, you want to make a bet?
Yeah. Yes. So I am signed up. Thanks to you.
Which one now? Which one?
The Castleberry Fair. It's at the Hanover Mall, December 2nd and 3rd. It's a weekend.
Yeah.
And I believe I have not yet been to the Hanover Mall, but
Yeah.
it looks like online they have a designated room.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, I really do enjoy the public events, and I enjoy interacting.
You're a
with
people
the
person. I mean, you go right
I
off
am.
the bat. So that
I
type
am.
of, you're going to fit in anywhere you go.
Yeah.
I know that Hanover Mall. I used to live in Bridgewater and Brockton, and I used to sneak out to that mall a lot in between my jobs. I used to just go and just
Oh, okay,
walk
so-
around and everything, and I had a
Oh,
blast
okay.
over there. I think
Okay.
from Brockton it's only 25 minutes, half an hour.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
from Sharon, how far is it for you?
Sharon, it's going to be about 45 minute drive. So it's going to be a little bit of a drive, but that's okay. That's all right.
What time do you have to be there?
What time? That is a good question. I think in the morning. I think
Okay.
I want to say around 9.
And you got
That
my
we can-
email about the start, the ST, capital ART. Is Start in the Park, Art in the Park in Worcester?
Oh, I did. Yes. I have yet. I
That
need
is
to look in.
huge.
Yeah. Okay.
That is
I have yet to look
very
into
big.
that.
I went one time,
Okay.
and they shut down. It was held on, I think, South Main Street. It's on Park Avenue, which is much better. But South Main Street,
Yeah.
when I first went,
Okay.
that means one thing right after another. Yeah, sure, plenty of artists and all, but
Yeah.
it never hurts to get an author in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you can
absolutely.
stand out.
Absolutely. Yes, that's right. And
All right.
Yeah.
Sue, you got the new book coming out. We're all going to be in touch. You're going to let us know.
Absolutely,
Right, okay.
absolutely, yes,
All right,
yes.
don't
I will.
run-
It will be on my website too. I'm going to
Yeah,
update my
don't
website.
run away now.
Yeah, I know.
we got you now. We don't run away from you, okay?
No, I'm around. I'll be around.
All right.
Absolutely. I'm also going to be at Tatnuck Bookstore in Westboro.
I got you over
Yeah,
there.
mhm.
Yeah, when are you
You
going to be
did.
there?
So August 26th from 1 to 3.
Yep.
It's a meet and greet. I'll be at a table
Yep.
in front of the
I
store.
know exactly
So
where you're
stop
gonna
on by if
Yeah.
you're in the Westboro area. And I'm also giving a talk at Sharon Library August 30th.
Yes.
My hometown. And that starts at 6:30. 6:30.
Don't-
All the information's on my website too.
Don't forget
So-
a Tatnuck. I know where you're going to be. You're not going to be in the big room giving a presentation. You're going to be right closer to the out desk.
Right. Exactly.
Have someone with you so that you can get
Okay.
up and walk.
Right.
One of my former clients, she got up and walked around with her book. And she happened to be a child's author. But she would see parents come in with kids, and she'd say, have you seen... And that's how she must have sold 10 books at least.
Mm-hmm.
But walk around with your book.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
have
connect
someone
more
else with
people.
you. Did you have
Okay.
someone with you at Expo?
I didn't actually. I didn't.
Okay.
No, my boyfriend he had to work
All right.
during the
Okay,
he had to
all
work,
right.
so
But did somebody watch your
yeah.
table for you when you had to go?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yes.
Not a good idea to leave it just,
Yeah.
No.
No, I met really great authors there, and
Yeah.
I really had a blast. You know, talking with my
It is
my
fun.
authors who are sitting in the vicinity. So,
Yeah, everybody's
so
in
it
the
is fun.
same,
It's
they're
a
in
lot
the
of
same
fun.
boat. They're like, hi, and they see people walking
Yeah.
by and they're
Mhm.
looking at your books.
Yeah.
They may take your card. They may not buy
Yes.
a book,
Right.
but they've got your card.
Right.
And I know what it's like because you bring them all home. You dump out that big
Yeah,
thing. You're like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I remember that one. You're not forgotten.
Yes, and I always have a business card. Absolutely.
And they're going to look for it online.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Thank you, and we'll have you back again. I
Oh,
know
thank-
she's going to keep
thank you.
touching me. She'd better.
Of course I am.
All right, so thanks
Thank
again,
you
and we'll
so
see you
much.
next time. I'll be my guest.